instructors and
after I hit it. Go up there and look a little bit. Marla.
Everybody eat up there.
Well, eat at the place where they ate the homeless in Seattle. Let's go. Where was that?
Sleepless in
Sleepless in
Seattle?
Seattle.
Homeless in Seattle. That's close, Mike. Close.
Somebody go one way and somebody go.
Okay, guys,
Probably as soon as we get 5 together, 2 more will be off.
한번이면 돈을 많이 벌어야지.
What kind of Michael stories do you want to tell us on the eve of his wedding?
Tell you about Michael. Michael was a sweet little boy. He was very quiet. Didn't like to be left alone with a babysitter. But he got over that after he grew up. He was always good at sports. He was a good student. The girls liked him. And lots of girlfriends.
Tell about his nickname. What was his nickname in high school?
He was called Snake. Everybody called him Snake. That's all anybody knew him.
Why did they call him Snake?
Because he was thin and wiry and moved like a snake. Because he was good at sports. He was the quarterback, and he could just move so, just like a snake, and that's all anybody ever called him. They didn't know his real name. I should have his dad here. His dad is the one who will tell all the bad stories. I only tell the good stuff. And there's some I can't tell. I couldn't tell that on him.
Stories about when he was little. What's the finger painting
Oh, I
story?
know a good one. I know one. When he was about 4, I guess, there was an older little boy that lived across the street. His name was Jackie Irwin. So Michael decided that his name was Jackie Irwin. And one day I took him up to Wilmington and we went to a flower show and we lost Michael. And after a while I heard announced over the loudspeaker, "We're looking for the parents of Jackie Irwin." And I said to my friend, "That's Michael." He would always pretend he was somebody else. Yeah, he would always give his name as somebody else, one of his friends. But this boy, I think he looked up to because he was older, and he was Jackie Irwin. What else did Michael do?
What was the finger painting story you were just telling?
I can't tell when he was baby. I can't tell that. He would be too embarrassed.
Okay.
Oh, no. He would kill me. He would kill
He
me.
was doing his painting himself.
What's the
He was
story-
painting all the
story
walls.
When he was like 10 or
He's
12.
painting the wall.
And I can't tell you with what.
Okay. We won't tell that story then.
We won't tell that story. Wait till his dad gets here. Dad had taken he and Bucky to this big department store in Wilmington, Wanamaker's. And they each had some money to do their Christmas shopping. And we finally caught up with Michael, and he had bought, I don't know what it was, and it was like $1. And the sales girl said, "Well, that'll be $1.10 because there was a tax on it." And he's saying, with these big eyes, "I don't have 10 cents. I don't have 10 cents. So the sales girl said, "Oh, that's okay, honey. Don't worry about it. I'll pay the 10 cents. Well, Bucky was cracking up. He said he doesn't have 10 cents, but he's got $5. But he didn't have a dime. And I don't think he's changed. I think probably Deborah will find out he will still hold on to that 10 cents. He hasn't changed a bit.
Good story.
Hey, Dad?
I guess the biggest thing about Mike is when he was a child, every night when he went to bed, just like clockwork, at 11 o'clock, he would come downstairs, sleepwalk.
Oh, really?
Sleepwalk. Now, we walked him back and put him in bed, and he never remembered.
But he would talk. He would talk.
He would talk, but he would never remember.
I mean, he would say some of the craziest things. And one time, I remember he was looking at himself in the mirror in the bathroom, and he said, "Michael, what have you done to your face?" But we always had to warn babysitters that he would do this.
Yeah.
And it was always at 10
Yeah,
o'clock.
yeah.
You could set the clock by him. And he'd walk down the stairs and he would say all kinds of crazy things.
Every night without
And
fail.
next morning he wouldn't remember it.
He would never remember.
Give him your dad here.
Also, there's another thing about Mike. I probably shouldn't tell this, but Mike, when he was a baby,
I said I wasn't going to tell that. I know what you're going to
well, I'm going to tell it. When Mike was a baby,
He's going to tell him.
we had a duplex house, and the kitchen upstairs where we put the crib. And Mike would do a BM, and he would put his fingers in and smear all over the wall. Now, this didn't happen just once. This happened
That's
quite
one I said I
regularly. So I better shut up.
He was at that. He
I'll tell
always was
you something else
artistic.
about Mike now.
He's artistic coming out.
Mike was an excellent athlete. When we moved to Charles County, Mike was in the 8th grade. And we sent him to a parochial school, which was a high school. And Mike was so good as an 8th grader that he played on the high school a baseball team. And these high school kids used to drive him home in their cars. And here was a kid just in the 8th grade.
And he probably drove his big brother crazy.
Yeah, oh my
You
gosh.
remember the finding out that he and I knew where the key was?
I can't remember anything else.
Him playing sports.
Pardon me?
He was the quarterback of the football team?
Yes, he was.
Tell us some of those stories.
I'll tell you, in high school, Mike was a natural. He could do anything. He played on the little league team that won the championship of Charles County. He was a shortstop. Then he was a quarterback in high school on the football team, and he broke the high school record for the most passes completed in one season. That's since been broken.
Is it the Lackey game? At the end of the game when you said, oh no, he wouldn't be.
Oh yeah, okay. When Mike first started, he was a second-string quarterback. And they were playing Lackey, which was the big rival in Charles County. And we were ahead, and the coach put Mike in, and we all said, the coach would probably tell him just hand off and run the ball. Well, that's what the other team expected. Anyhow, Mike winds up and throws a long pass, and the end runs down the field and catches it for a touchdown.
First time he was ever had been put in.
Yeah.
You know, we thought, oh well, just hand off the ball.
Yeah.
But he threw this one pass, made a touchdown.
Yeah.
And Dad had just said, he said, oh, he won't do that. He won't do that.
Nobody would expect it. They would expect it.
Well,
But anyhow, after the game, there was a big fight.
oh yeah.
And I ran out on the field, and one guy swung at one of our players. I hit him with my camera, broke my camera. I did.
Then at the football banquet, they gave you a trophy.
Yeah, they gave me at the football banquet. They gave me a trophy. One of the little trophies about that high. What in the world is that?
Oh, okay, that's enough about it. Look, Deborah can tell you the rest of the stories. We've handed him off to Deborah.
Yeah.
now.
We've got 2 more minutes of tape, so we can't waste the tape. So
Okay, Bucky. What else? Tim, what else about Mike?
Come on, tell something about Mike. The editor of our local paper was a good friend of mine. And on Saturday nights, they had the Coke dances, and the Coca-Cola supplied all the beverages, and the parents supplied food and sandwiches. Well, the editor of the paper, Ed Sedov, called us about 11 o'clock at night. He said, guess what? Your son Mike won the jitterbug contest. We didn't even know Mike knew how to dance. So that's the way Mike is. Cut.
okay, thank you.
Cut. Here, Bucky.
We went to school 10 miles from each other in North Carolina. I never got seen, but one of my best friends did. He went over there all the time. Do you remember him getting kicked out of school? He and Bob Kaufman, who is now I think the general manager of the Cleveland Cavaliers or some professional basketball team. Yeah.
From my alma mater?
Yeah. What was it you two got, the three of you got kicked out of school for, suspended?
Bob Regard.
Bob Regard, okay.
Regard, yeah.
Yeah.
You're a good teacher when you were younger.
Drinking in a dorm.
Yeah. So, you know.
Very
All right. Come here, you two.
About the parents that played football with you and Pat.
He used to wrestle with me and
Went away to
everything.
college, and you guys used to write me letters.
He used to write me. You know what? I can tell you what about Michael.
Postcards from around
Is
the
that
world.
Michael was my first exposure to hippies, and was a very, very, very strong influence on me because he brought people home with long hair and doing some things that I cannot say because you never know if the DEA or the FBI might get hold of this video cassette. But I was always impressed, and I always wanted to be a hippie after Michael. So that's what influence he had on me.
I got a good Michael story.
Michael had been at Outward Bound up in the mountains for a week in the rain.
In North Carolina.
In North Carolina, and he comes to our house
Where it's like 90 degrees.
with some girl, not a girlfriend, just a girl who's giving a ride home. Been sleeping in the woods for a week. He comes to our house. We offer him a bedroom, and what do? They go out on our front yard, backyard, and sleep out in the yard.
Well, yeah. I mean,
What are you supposed to do?
sleep in
And
the
it
house.
rains.
It's nice outside.
Absolutely.
And I remember your kids coming
With
up
all
to
those
us
kids?
and saying, Your clothes are all dirty.
And that's not as bad as John coming up to me and saying, why does Uncle Tim have long hair? And needing to borrow a shirt with sleeves on it. At least Michael had sleeves on his shirt, right? Where's Patrick? Patrick, quick. Michael stories.
You're really good at painting like
Actually, Patrick didn't speak until he was about 25, so he really wouldn't be able to put the sentences together anyway.
No, they're making it all up. Don't believe anything they're saying. They're making it all up.
Dude, no matter what,
Pretty normal,
believe
ordinary guy.
them. He's just lying. His arms are crossed. Believe